Can you give me your best Yu Yu Hakusho pose to open the video?
Be like, I don't know, like I can't really see like myself on camera right now. Hold
Me
on.
neither.
Yeah, 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 like that. Yeah.
Right
Yeah, that's what
gun.
I think of. Yeah.
Spirit gun. Welcome everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the Yu Yu Hakusho live action, the 5-episode Netflix series. I have BioPhoenix here. Hello, BioPhoenix.
Yes, I am here, but yeah.
He's watched the anime. He has not seen the Netflix series. I'll be kind of facilitating the conversation, but he is a welcome guest. He's the most anime guy I know.
I'm glad to know that I'm the most anime guy that you know.
At least here on YouTube in our circle. Be sure to
Yeah,
subscribe.
no.
Subscribe to BioPhoenix. Subscribe to me. Yu Yu Hakusho. You know, I'm not the biggest anime guy, but that is one that I have a deep affection and love for. Of the 3 animes I've reviewed, this is one of them. Did it like 8 years ago. So when I heard about Yu Yu Hakusho, I had a ton of feelings with the live action. So we're actually gonna start there. So the Yu Yu Hakusho live action was announced on December 16th of 2020 as a live action series adaptation scheduled for Netflix. But only a couple weeks ago, on November 10th, 2023, did I see a reveal trailer. When did you first hear about the live action for Yu Yu Hakusho?
I first heard about it. I want to say it might have actually been around like ending 2020, 2021. It was probably somewhere around there. Yeah, when I first heard about it.
Okay, what were some of your initial impressions?
Well, you know how a lot of anime live actions tend to be. I was kind of thinking like, well, this probably might not be good, but at the same time, I also do try to like be hopeful, especially nowadays where I feel like a lot of like younger directors now, like they actually know what the frick anime is. It wasn't like back in the day when people were trying to make like a live action anime, most of the time they don't even know what the frick anime is.
That's true.
So it's the same thing with video game movies too. Like, yeah, a lot of them were shit back then because a lot of them were like old people that didn't even play video games.
Right, let's just milk
So,
this because people like it. I also think that the technology has come a long way, so things have gotten better and worse in some ways with, the advent of like streaming services. So when I first heard about this, it was just through seeing the trailer, and I got nervous because you know how the reputation of anime live actions are. They're not good, and it's not to say I've seen that many, but I think Dragon Ball Evolution has scarred the world.
yeah.
I don't think people have faith in general. And then I think Ghost in the Shell was another one that was concerning. And then I think there was was it Death Note or something? I haven't seen the anime.
Oh yeah, the Death Note Netflix one, yeah.
I have heard nothing but bad reviews. So I did watch the One Piece live action recently, and I'm not the biggest One Piece fan. I like it for what it is. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that, but as again, I'm also not a One Piece fan, but I've heard from a lot of people that a lot of people are generally pretty happy with it. I mean, of course you are going to get like that guy who's like, it sucked. It 100% sucked. Yeah, but
The troll
but
emerges.
yeah, but of course, I feel like generally from what I've seen from people though, like they're pretty okay with it for the most part. Yeah, like there are some things they changed and all that, but I feel like some from what I've heard, some people are actually pretty okay with the changes, and that's fine because as someone who likes to read a lot of like books and manga, then gets like seen them get like put into an adaptation of like a movie or a show, like it's never gonna be 100% like adaptation because sometimes like the source material and then turning it into like another medium, like you kind of have to make changes sometimes because sometimes some things just don't work in other mediums, like yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I thought the One Piece live action was good. I'm going to try not to do too much comparison, but there probably will be some. And there's obvious differences because One Piece is still ongoing and it's like 1,000+ episodes, and Yu Yu Hakusho is 112. So, I thought it was cool. I did think it was kind of a globalist product, not the globalist, but like a globalized product, a product for global audiences, and with that comes some like commercial, things. Whereas Yu Yu Hakusho was strictly a Japanese live action, and I don't know the origins of all of the characters who performed, whether they're Japanese natives or not. It doesn't really matter to me, but it's clearly a product of Asia. Which I like. I think that the anime itself is very Japanese, and as it should be with how they convert it to live action. So in that respect, I think I had some faith. I was concerned when I saw the depictions of some of the characters in the trailer. I tried not to look too deeply, but then you see Kuwabara and you're like, is that the Kuwabara from the anime, who's like big and bulky, and I mentally couldn't piece it together. It's not how I envisioned it, and I think you're gonna get some of that when you really like the source material, and then you see it adapted into something else. You're gonna be like, that's not how I remember it.
Yeah, I've seen like what the cast looks like. I will say, for the most part, I think most of the people do look pretty good for their roles, just in terms of looks, mind you. But I will say that Kurobara is like one of the few that's a little questionable in terms of looks. But I don't know, like I mean, maybe it looks better like in the film rather than just seeing a picture. But
Right. And
you'll have to say that.
yeah, we can kind of go down the list. I'm going to talk about each of the major characters and how I think they were adapted, both in terms of looks and personality, starting with Urameshi. Urameshi.
Urameshi.
So he's the main character. They got the whole uniform. They got the whole delinquent style thing going on. I think it works. He, wears the same outfit as everyone else in the school, the green, leather jacket and pants. And he pulls it off. And he's kind of got this like look to him. So my girlfriend's more into like Japanese media, and she didn't recognize him from any major roles, but he does have a decent, list of things. Apparently he was into like music videos and stuff growing up. So I don't know. He's got a bit of a legacy. So, this guy was well cast. He's a good face for the show. His name is Takumi Kitamura. And I think one thing he does well is kind of just having Yusuke's like, kind of like disgust look,
Okay, that's cool.
Kind of like hands in the pockets. At a bunch of points in the show, he's trying to light a cigarette and he can't do it. I don't remember him trying that in the show, but I think that he has the mannerisms down.
Well, I do remember in the show, like in the very first episode, there's the scene where like he's trying to like eat like candy or whatever, but then he gets like punched in the back of the head. Yeah.
I did think some of that, like the playfulness with Keiko, was missing, but I think as far as like the determination, it was there.
Okay.
Next character to talk about is Kazuma Kuwabara. Obviously, he doesn't have the same bulk as Kuwabara does in the show, in the anime, but my God, does this guy know the character. When you see him in action, you can feel this is a guy who has watched the anime, who knows the part. He's like really like Urameshi rival number one. No, you can't be defeated before I defeat you. You're not supposed to lose now, and he's always determined to get stronger. So I really liked how this guy performed Kuwabara, even if he didn't look exactly the part. There are a couple points where he tears off the jacket and you can see him flex. And even though he's not super strong, he looks like a strong 16-year-old, like a strong teenager or something. I don't know how old the actor is, but
yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, I can kind of like imagine how that can work well. Fact, it's funny when it comes to like the whole idea of just this show being turned into live action. I'm sure you might have seen this picture before, but there's that picture of that basketball player that looks exactly like the anime version of Kurobar, where he has like the same hair and he has like that face where he does the whole like the and it just looks really funny. Yeah, and people are like, they should hire that guy to be in the movie.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I don't know who he is because I don't watch basketball, but I mean, hey, that's just like what that's what I always think of.
Let's talk next about Kurama. Kurama is played by Jun Shison. I don't know anyone's legacy after this point, but let's say their names. Kuwabara was Shuhei Uesugi. Uh, this guy looks more like a cosplay character. The hair is clearly like stapled on. It looks like a wig, big time. Now the acting is fine, although, and to be fair, I don't know that Kurama really has like the biggest personality in the show. He's kind of more of a mysterious character, and I think this guy captures that. Although I think he loses some of like the romantic side to Kurama.
uh, I see. One interesting fact I can say about Kurama, at least when it comes to the anime version, is that in one of the movies in the English dub, he was actually voiced by David Hayter. Voice of Solid Snake.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I remember when I found out about that. I thought that was like hilarious. And then I remember I made a picture of just him saying, "Metal Gear? No, it can't be."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Hiei
that's all. That.
is performed by Kanata Hongo. I think Hiei does well. He's pretty edgy, strong, and kind of like, snarky. Like, you know, I'm faster and stronger than you, but he's like, he kind of keeps it to himself and just kind of shows you up in battle. He's got some cool moments in the show. He's, parts where he takes off the bandage. I did think they could have done a little more with him, though.
Okay. Yeah, he was one of my favorite characters in the anime, so it's good that they at least got him well.
Mm. And then the major arc that this one goes into, I guess, is the tournament arc. Even though it's only 5 episodes, they do quite a bit. So the Toguro characters are really well done.
Oh wow, so they actually got the tournament arc in like 5 episodes? That's pretty insane.
Yeah, which is kind of the next point about how they adapted this. So, I think the Netflix one for One Piece set a bit of a standard, although development for this started in 2020. So I don't know, what's the correlation exactly, because One Piece came out maybe like a month or two ago. But with One Piece, I feel like they crammed into one episode, which is fine because otherwise One Piece would go on forever, 1,000 episodes. And then in 8 episodes they got to the shark dude, which is about 50 episodes. Here they got through the whole tournament arc in 5, and they started from Yusuke's death and rebirth scene. So in 5 episodes you go from the death rebirth to the 3 Oni to Keiko gets kidnapped, which I don't even remember if that's in the anime or not, to chasing her down in the underworld, in like the giant pit in the earth, where there's the tournament, and then conclusion to that, and closing the big sphere. I think what happened is they combined storylines. So like one thing you might remember is how like there were these like yokai insects that would infiltrate and take people over. And
Yep, I remember that.
what they did is they combined that with the cause of Yusuke's death. So the truck driver got infected by a yokai, which is not something that I remember, being stated. I remember that coming up later in like future episodes. Like it was just a freak accident to me because he saved a boy. So I think they were trying to conveniently fit it into like the Netflix style of telling a story, which, it works for what it is. I don't think the changes were too drastic. But then with the martial arts thing, it kind of is tournament related because you have like older people betting on it, but it's not like, I think what I remember is it looks more like your typical tournament arc in the anime, which I think they sacrificed.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of see what you mean.
And it just became kind of fights that were being watched, like just for life or death. So I don't know. I'd have to. It's been 8 years, so I can't tell you all the things that have and have not been changed. This is not that kind of video. But I will say. Yeah, go
Oh,
on.
go on.
No, I just say.
Okay.
You go.
Yeah, damn it, we're talking at the same time. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I was just gonna say that yeah, I also haven't seen the anime in a long time too. Like last time I okay, the first time I've ever fully watched it was about like 2008, 2009, but then I like remember rewatching it. I think it was like 2016, I think, but I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched like I think like a good chunk of it, and then I was just like, okay, I'm good. That's my comfort food for like a little bit. And yeah, and even at that, like I still don't like remember like fully everything because like I said, as much as I love the show, it's just sometimes like like we all do like different shit all the time. Like sometimes it's hard to like keep everything in there all the time.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, I after watching this, I would like to rewatch the show. I think there's I don't know, it rekindled my interest in it. I think it was well done. I think I really liked the parts that were done well, and it made me remember why I like the show so much. I think that the personalities in the show are so strong. I think the Yusuke Kuwabara rivalry is awesome. How they're kind of like in their head, but then they still can learn and be disciples of that Botan, the witch lady,
Yep.
and then they take on this Terminator looking dude, and it's uh, and the connections to like yokai and mythology are really cool. There are some things I think work better in the anime than they do in a live action, but for the most part, I think it looks and performs well. So like anything that's humanoid or human style is done well. Like fight scenes between Yusuke and other characters, or even a yokai that takes over another human character, it's done well. When it's not done well is when it's more CG. So in the first episode, there's like the locust looking thing that takes over a couple of people, and okay, it's a CG thing, but it's not a huge deal. In the second one of the three ogres is basically something out of a Marvel movie. Like it just looks like a CG depiction, and it's really weird. It doesn't look as good. It juts out compared to everything else. If this was a completely CG movie, it would be different, but you can tell that the character is just fighting with thin air with something that is superimposed. Granted, if I was younger and watching this, would I care? Maybe not. But as
Yeah.
a more attuned viewer nowadays, it stands out to me.
I agree. I mean, like CGI is like cool sometimes, but I'll always take practical effects.
Sorry, my cat is eating everything. I have to watch and make sure he doesn't eat. Like this paper towel is on my desk.
Oh shit.
He's a loose
Man, did you
candy.
hear what I said though? Like, is everything good?
You said that something about CG and how sometimes it's done well, but not all the time.
Yeah, that. But I also said that that I just like for the most part, I always prefer practical effects. I just think they just look a lot cooler because something is like physically there and they have to like do shit with it, whether it be like like for example, like with like the Godzilla films in like the old days, like a lot of the practical effects was that they used to do like they had to like literally build like miniatures and shit, or they had to get like a dude in like a suit and then just like goes around and just breaks a bunch of shit.
Yeah, those are cool for sure. I think they hold up well. Like they I don't know. Even if they can be cheesy sometimes in the old days, like they have character.
Yeah, well, the way I see it, and of course, like, is that yeah, you can obviously tell it's fake, but then again, you can also say the same thing about CG. You obviously know it's fake too.
True. Yeah, that could be jaded.
Yeah,
Jaded old man. But
yeah,
in
but
general, I think this was a good watch, if not a bit short, and maybe with some opportunity to have I don't know, drawn it out. I would like to see more fight scenes. I think it's okay to be more 1-to-1 with the episodes. You don't have to do every episode, but and granted, an episode of this is 60 minutes as opposed to 20 for an anime, so technically it would be 3 crammed into one. But this really only covers like 15 episodes worth at if we're going at that rate. And you've basically erased whole like, development arcs.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I do think it's good that they started to do like shows like that are like an hour long because you can be able to fit more like content into an episode.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's better than with like 20 minutes. 20 minutes of a live action probably wouldn't make much sense.
Yeah.
So, any interest in watching after this?
I wouldn't mind checking it out, honestly, because, like, it's, at least with Yu Yu Hakusho, it's at least a show that I actually like, so, of course, yeah, I would like to check out the live action at some point. Now, I can't guarantee you when, because, there's just a lot of stuff I have on my backlog of, like, stuff to watch, but
Yeah.
yeah, I do have Netflix, and, like you said, it's 5 episodes, so that's not bad. It's not long at all. Even
Yeah.
though they are an hour long, but still.
Yeah, I'd love to know what you think.
Yeah, yeah. No, I wouldn't mind checking out at some point. I just, like I said, I just don't know when. But yeah, I'm not opposed to it. Like, I have more interest in this than I do with the One Piece one. And even though the One Piece one I've heard, like I said, it's not, like, bad, but because it's attached to a property that I don't have, like, any, like, attachment to, it's like, whatever to me.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah, I felt similarly. I basically watched One Piece because, everyone else was hyped about it and I was watching together with my girlfriend. So,
Yeah. Plus, you wanted to do a video with Turbo, so.
yeah, there's that too. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thanks for joining to talk about the Yu Yu Hakusho live action with me. Uh, and those of you at home watching, if you watched, let us know. And if not, why not? And will you watch soon?
Yeah,
And,
awesome.
and check out BioPhoenix too, the sequel.